Thanks for downloading another episode of The Ugly Truth. Or if it's your first time, welcome. You are now an honorary UG, or Hug as we like to say. We really appreciate you listening and supporting the show through our Amazon and Avon links at uglytruth.com. And now, without further ado, The Ugly Truth. It's another uncensored look at the world around you from sisters who will say just about anything to anyone at any time. It's the Uggs. Jamie.
Mom, we invented a new game. It's called Kick Mom Through the House.
Paula.
My leg hair has split ends.
Uncensored as always, it's time for The Ugly Truth.
Welcome to The Ugly Truth. It is episode 238. Merry Christmas. Ugh. Ugh. Welcome back. She's back. The sickest girl in the world has returned to us. Thank goodness.
Yes.
I'm so glad you've returned. Are you feeling better than last week?
Much better. And trust me, you guys wouldn't have wanted to see me last week.
It was not a pretty sight.
It was not a pretty sight. It probably would have been funny, but...
No, it would have been terrifying. I don't think anybody wants to see that. They said this year the flu strain is insidious and that only 10% of the people who got flu shots will it work for.
Well, that's encouraging.
That's why I didn't get the flu shot. I'm like, what's the point? I'm going to get a poke and nothing. Forget it.
I got the flu shot.
Well, you should. You're sickly. I mean,
I should get everything. I should get that pneumococcal, whatever.
You should get any kind of wall of defense that you can get for your poor little body.
Gardasil and, the like.
If anyone's going to be the boy in the bubble, it would be you. You're going to start playing. You're going to play chess through a plastic bubble like John Travolta.
No, start kissing Victor through cellophane.
Probably. You'll be the big pet hamster in the house.
Oh, God. Mom, watch. And I'm like, hold on. I'll start rolling through there.
God, seriously.
God.
So funny. They would love it. They're like, Mom, can we kick you?
Yeah, right. Mom, hold on. We're going to roll you down the hallway. No,
we want to play a game.
God.
Mom, we invented a new game. It's called Kick Mom Through the House. Just brace yourself.
Just hold on.
What? You have your blanket? You'll be all right. God. It's so true.
Imagine.
Though.
Kids are so funny. Olivia, she said, because we're getting a lot of boxes right now.
Sure.
There was a rather large box. And so she's like, Mom, she's like, here. And so she climbed in the box and, hunkered down and formed herself to where she fit. And
yes.
She's like, close this up and then push me down the hallway. I'm like,
that's your brother's job.
I'm like, okay. And so I did it twice. And she's like, why did you stop? I said, because I'm tired. It's hard.
I don't want to do it anymore. People pay great money to CrossFit like this. I don't want to do it in my house.
My hip hurts.
Your hip. No, actually, interestingly, we're getting a lot of boxes as well. And we have our cat litter, cat food, and dog food delivered.
Oh, okay.
Because you can do that. And I did. And I'm so glad.
Is it Chewy?
No. You know what? We were going to use Chewy, but we actually used Petco.
Oh, I didn't know they did it.
Petco or PetSmart. No, it's Petco. Yeah. And so we went online and we did it because it was way cheaper than Chewy, unfortunately, because we would have used Chewy.
Yeah.
So we have it delivered like every other month. We get a delivery of cat food, cat litter, and then the dog food. And you can actually change it up because depending on your cat's or your dog's appetite, things can change.
Oh, okay.
So you can vary the delivery times and stuff. And I'm just glad we have it delivered because it's so damn heavy. Mm-hmm. And sure as shit, Daryl will be in like Tulsa. And we'll need dog food. And because we have a huge ass dog, we get like the 30 or 40 pound bags.
Right.
I get to do that, and I'm like, no. So now we have it delivered. So all I have to do is drag it into the house. So the other day we get a delivery and I had ordered a really super nice coffee table and we're having it shipped because, as you know, Mackenzie has moved out and we gave her our old coffee table. So right now we literally look like we have no furniture because we gave her the coffee table and the new one hasn't come yet. Mm-hmm. So this big box, which is almost as tall as me, shows up at the door. And the UPS guy has it on a dolly. And it was like 8 o'clock in the morning. I said, oh my God, the table arrived. I can't believe it. It's way earlier than expected. So I said, we have to get a dolly and bring it in because it's like a 100-pound table. And he goes, okay. So he goes out there and he goes, this isn't your table. And I said, why not? He goes, well, first of all, I can literally lift this thing up. And I said, well, what's in it? Because I didn't order anything that would necessitate a 5-foot tall box. He opens it up. It is one bag of cat food, which is like 15 pounds, and a crate for dog training. And it's like, it's as big as the cat food bag. And that's it. The rest is completely filled up with those air bubble packing.
Oh my God.
And I said, what they do? Run out of boxes? And they just said, well, this is all we have. Throw it in there and send it out. So now I have this box that is huge standing. It's the kind of box that you would expect like a dryer to come in or something.
Right.
Or like a fridge. It's one of those boxes that if Olivia was here, she'd be like, oh, I'm living in this now. This is mine.
Keep it at your house.
I am. I told Daryl, I said, we have to save it because they're coming over. I said, we have to save this box and give it to Olivia because she will literally cut a door in and windows and this will be her house.
Really? I already see
They're super fun.
I see a spaceship in our future.
Totally. It's perfect for her. So anyway, boxes, they do arrive, but it would be and I actually thought about putting it and sliding down the stairs like we used to, but I thought I'd probably break something and it wouldn't be my body. It would be like the stairwell or something. I'd knock something to the side and I'd go flying off the side of the stairs.
You'd probably
and die.
slide off the box.
Yeah, it wouldn't be pretty. So I figured, well, because if I went really fast and flew down the stairs perfectly, I could potentially ram my head through a window. That's no way to come home.
Well, that was nice
no
of
way.
the UPS guy to help you out.
It wasn't even heavy. I think he was surprised when he pulled it out. He's like, oh, this didn't require a dolly. But it would be hard to manhandle that thing. I mean, it was huge. It was
Awkward,
huge.
yeah.
Yes, exactly. So also, okay, so you and I are both fans of Dr. Pimple Popper.
Yes.
And I have noticed that in the evening, I like to unwind with a little drink and watch Dr. Pimple Popper videos.
That's gross.
It's a new thing. I don't know why I find it so relaxing, but it'll be at night and, I'm like, oh, she posted a new one, So Daryl is just disgusted by the whole new routine. And so he's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm watching Dr. Pimple Popper. He's like, why are you watch? He's like, how can you do that? And I said, they're very interesting, incredibly, especially when they're really big ones. Like I saw one the other day where he was under general anesthesia.
Wow.
Because he had a calcified cyst on his forearm.
Is that the one where it actually has hair and teeth and everything in it?
No, calcified means it got hard because usually when she pops them, they're all soft and gross.
Yeah.
But this one he had in there for like 6 years.
Yeah.
And it had solidified, so it was like a little rock.
Oh.
So she had to, literally dig it out. It was very interesting, but the dude was asleep because she was doing a lot. I mean, she didn't do any numbing or anything. So obviously, and he wasn't moving. So that one was an interesting one, but the one that compelled me to go, God, I love you, Dr. Pimple Popper. A man had a cyst on his testicles. And she was doing it, and he was super brave and super willing to have it videotaped. What was funny is when I was looking at the, like, oh, here's a new upload, I'm like, what part of the body is that? Because I couldn't, usually you can tell what part of the body it is. And I'm like, that sure looks like the inside of a man's thigh. What is that? And so sure enough, it was a gentleman who was not white. Which is probably why he had no problem with it being videoed. He was awake, obviously, and it was a fairly decent cyst. And so the nurse is holding down the skin. So it was tight.
It was taut.
So it was taut. And so she's working. She goes, I need you to hold the skin down a little bit more. So they're just chit-chatting away. So, and he's saying, and they're like, are you all right? And she kept adding numbing over and over and over again. And finally, she was able to get it. She goes, the problem is because the skin is it's tough. The skin is not soft.
Oh.
As far as she had to get her extra sharp scalpels to get through the skin.
Maybe he was older.
Well, he was obviously a man, like an older man, but but what was interesting is she's like, the testicle skin actually is exposed to a lot in life. It's constantly being rubbed on on pants and underwear. Like, it's an external organ, so it's kind of like elbow skin.
Oh.
And so, although it's a very delicate area, the skin is quite hard. It's hard to get through. It's very tough.
I wonder, and this is just me thinking out loud, do you think men lotion their balls?
I don't know. Maybe.
Might be a good idea to do, gentlemen.
Yeah, to soften them up a bit.
You know,
that's interesting. I never thought about that. I mean, I lotion my elbows.
Yeah, if you want to keep them young, I'm just saying.
Or just not so, maybe not so tough skinned. I didn't even think about it. It's almost, but it's like a strange type of calloused skin. And so not only did she have to have someone hold it nice and tight, she had to get her extra sharp scissors and scalpels to get through the skin. She's like, yeah, she goes, it's actually, you'd be surprised how much testicle skin goes through to get it like this. It's not like a baby's testicle area where it's brand new and it hasn't been exposed to anything. And so anyway, she struggled quite a bit to get through it. So she finally gets it out. It was she goes, oh, it's just a regular old cyst, because obviously anything on anyone's genitals, you think it's cancer or a VD or something. But no, it wasn't. It was just a regular old cyst. And she was even straight. She goes, yeah, it's just a regular old cyst. And so she's pushing it all out and mushing it out and stuff. So she's sewing it up. And he goes, hey, so what kind of scar is going to be going on down there? And she goes, oh, are you concerned about it? He goes, yeah, I really don't want it to look like there's a scar on my balls. And so she's like, no problem. So she did like a super duper plastic surgery type of suture and had to cut some skin away to make sure that, she goes, you might feel a little bit of a scar because, scar tissue. But she goes, I don't think you'll feel like a line, and there won't be like a bubble or anything like that. He goes, okay, because it's like super important to him. She goes, oh, are you a model or something? He's all, no. But, it's just, I guess it would be the same thing for women if they had a cyst on their boob or whatever. It's like, hey, can you make sure that this thing doesn't look hacked? Can you make sure it's like as pristine as possible? And I'm like, how many people are looking at your nutsack under your dick, dude? I mean, because it was like right under the nutsack. But you know what? You know how men are with their balls. They think everyone cares.
God. Yeah, I mean,
they're the only ones that do.
Women after they've had a baby, are they really concerned about the scar? I mean,
it's true.
But
like,
I mean, sew me up to make sure I don't bleed to death.
Right. And no blood. There was no bleeding. There was just nothing. Yeah, it was very, very clean surgery. But anyway, so of course, I haven't told Producer Dub that I have watched a man have his testicles messed with, because I think he would no longer have any. They would ascend or descend, I should say, into his body.
He'd probably pass out.
I mean, you couldn't see his penis or anything, but it was clearly his genital area. It was obvious that it was his balls. But he recovered, and, strangely, they did not do an after where the healing process had ended. They didn't show the after. So I'm assuming that, he had been done exposing himself to the world. But it was interesting. I don't know why. I mean, I don't know how often you look at them now, but I find them extremely interesting.
Yeah, I haven't looked. I haven't looked in a little while. I've been just busy, but I do check them out every now and then. Just when I have a minute to unwind. So
yes. Why is it so relaxing to us? I will never know. I will never understand.
There's something about the release, I guess. I don't know what it is, but.
I know. I know that if we were sitting in a therapy office and they said, well, Daryl, what is it about your wife you don't like? You'd be like, I hate that she watches Dr. Pimple Popper. I don't understand the procedures. Why?
You know what? I asked my doctor one time why. I said, I always like to pick at Victor's face or whatever. And he's like,
ew.
He says, that's pretty normal, actually.
It is normal. It is normal. It's very monkey-like. I don't get it. I don't
eat the bugs, but
I know. All right. Enough with the Dr. Pimple Popper. Anyway.
Right.
Moving on. Okay, so it is the holidays. We're about 2 weeks outside of the big day. I have been pretty good. I don't have all of it done, but I think the majority of it is complete. I have a few people and a few items here and there, but for the most part, And then once again, the stocking issue, the little, stocking gifts. It's not like it used to be where you could buy like 2 things and the kids would be like, yay! It just feels like that's an expensive added gift. So
I think stocking stuffers are more expensive than gifts.
I do too.
So that's why we don't do them.
Oh, you don't do them at all?
Nope, we don't do stocking stuffers. So
yeah, this has been a fairly pricey season because, Mackenzie, her birthday is on the 8th of December. And then Christmas is 3 weeks later. And it's just far enough apart that it doesn't feel like we're combining or anything like that. But it's still, and especially when they're adults, like, the gift that you give them tends to be practical, and so they tend to be a bit more pricey.
Well, that's what I was saying yesterday, because I was saying I bought a ton of gifts this year for the kids, and then they're all almost wrapped. I think I have one left to wrap, but it's kind of awkward, so I'm just putting it off because I don't know how to wrap it. Right. And then I have the 2 left that are from Santa. Ryan knows Santa doesn't exist now, but Olivia doesn't. So we got 2 gifts from Santa. Basically, I look under the tree and I'm like, it looks like the Smurfs live here. I'm like, there's no presents, there's nothing under here that looks, our tree looks, feeble and nothing. I'm like, it'll be fun, I guess, but I'm just like, before we used to be bursting at the seams with presents, because everything was big and fun and,
Well, like I said, every year Daryl and I wrap gifts and we always go, that's it? That's all?
Right.
And then
it's like a stack of books.
We essentially cry and...
Right.
I miss the days when we would spend, $40 and have 5 humongous boxes of plastic to put under the tree. It's not like that anymore.
No one's riding on a plastic scooter and, getting a pretend baseball set. And
no, those days have come to a close. You're on the tail end because you still have one who's in the prime of Christmas, but your son is now, like, according to his wish list that you sent me, only wants band t-shirts, Chuck Taylors. In fact, if he had his own iPhone or Google phone or whatever, he would want, earbuds and, Beats by Dre and all that stuff.
Yeah. And we did get him earphones because he likes the over-the earphones.
Yep.
So we got him those. And we basically got them everything on their list. In fact, I made them go and put more, not Olivia. She had 3 pages, but...
You only sent, the thing you sent me had like 5 things on it.
Because I had already gone through their lists, and so I told them to go put more things on their list so I could send it to you. And then that's when Olivia went all basketball. And I'm like, what is this?
What's with the basketball fascination?
I don't know. She was obsessed with the headband because it had her name on it. And
so it's not basketball. It's just the headband. Is that why Ryan put a $72,000 Rolex on there? Because he thought we could afford to purchase one for him?
I don't know.
Yeezys?
I don't know what he thought.
That's insane. He's like, oh, they're rich. I'll make them buy me a Rolex.
I had to delete. Well, you should have seen the list he had for us. He thought we were going to buy him like Air Jordans and, all this stuff. And I'm just like, no, delete, all these things. And so some of the things we bought weren't even on his list because I'm just like, this is ludicrous. I don't know what you think we're going to get.
Ludacris is a great rapper, Mom.
But you should have seen him pleading for those Air Jordans. I mean,
why?
Because there's an Air Jordan game at his school where everyone's got the sneakers and they all show off. And I'm like, Ryan, your shoe size went from, 9.5 to 10 in 3 months. And I'm like, I'm not spending $90 on tennis shoes.
On a pair of Air Jordans that you're going to grow out of before June.
And he's like, well, then I won't wear them. I'll just put them in the closet. And I'm like,
why would you do that?
Just to keep him safe. And I'm like, I'm definitely not buying them now. So,
oh my God, he's going to be one of those people. He's going to be one of those guys that has his own closet for all of his shoes.
I think he's going to be a fashionista.
He's a shoe whore.
He's something. I don't know where he found that out, but he'll be in the sneaker game, I'm sure,
That's so funny.
Whatever that underground game.
Daryl's a clothes whore.
Is he?
He is. Oh my God. I mean, I created a monster because I'll be like, okay, well, I really need to run. I'm going to go to Nordy Rack. I want to see if they have any sweaters or anything. I kind of need a rag to cover myself when it's going to be 36 degrees at noon in Northern California. He's like, you know what? And I'm like, don't say it. And he goes, well, what? I'm like, don't say it. He goes, well, I really do need some more clothes. I'm like, what do you need? You have the most clothes of all of us in the house. Like, literally, you have everything you could possibly need. I need more jeans. These are ratty. I can't wear these. Oh my God. I'm not buying you one more clothes. Like, if you want to do it, you go out and buy them. I'm not going with you. I'm not going to assist you while we load up on more clothing for you. It's my fault. It's my fault because when I met him, he was dressing like a Walmart greeter. He looked horrible.
Right.
And now, of course, he needs everything. And I'm like, oh, God. I wish. And the thing is I wish I was as bad as he was. But I really struggle buying clothes for myself. It's not as easy for women to run out and say, you know what, I need more clothes. It's a thing.
Oh God, it's a whole process. I mean, I have to get in the car and I'm just like, I have to decide like which is worse, bra shopping or clothes shopping.
I mean, the thing is there's a whole industry of people who work at stores where they will help you find clothes. I would love to do that for men. It would be so easy to make thousands of dollars dressing men. Black, brown, blue, button up, pullover, long sleeve or short sleeve. I mean, that's it. And then a jacket here and there. That is it. That is all there is to it. And what's your budget? That's all. Women, it's like, well, let's see. What kind of shape do you have? Are you a pear, an apple, or a hourglass?
Oh, I'm a stick with a big belly. So
in this brand, you would be a size 10. In this brand, you'd be a 12. What about your bra? Do we want it to show or not show? We need nude undergarment. I mean, it is so tedious to find clothing for women unless you want to look like a schlep, which is really probably why most women walk around in pajama bottoms and sweatshirts because it's just easier.
Ask me what I took the kids to school in today.
I don't even need to. I already know. So
it's so hard. No, and my body fluctuates so much because I take so many different medications. Every time I take a medication, I gain 10 pounds. And so,
why can't you take the one that makes you lose 10 pounds? That's the medication I want.
Yeah, it's called my finger down my throat.
No kidding.
That's the one I'm going to start taking.
God,
if my doctor doesn't find one that makes me skinny. So.
It's like, you know what, we've gone the rounds. Can we go to the weight loss ones now? The section in your book that has weight loss pills.
Yeah,
and will make me sane. Where's that invention?
Yeah, really. You want to make me happy? Find the one that makes me lose 40 pounds. How about that?
I want to be thin and sane and anxiety free. Where's that pill? That's the only one I want. Oh, that one doesn't exist. You need to exercise and eat right.
Start walking. And I'm just like, I guess I could walk around the block. He's like, you need to walk at least a mile to get your heart rate up. And I'm just like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, well, I mean, exercise is key. It does work. I have to say, I don't want to be a rag about it, but it does work. It does ease my anxiety. And what I've noticed is that the last couple of weeks, my exercise has gone way down. I haven't been doing it nearly as much. I've just been so busy. And I have a lot of anxiety. And it's because I haven't been doing as much cardio or yoga as I usually do. So I need to get back. Of course, now I recognize that today. And so now I have to whip myself into shape again. Well, so before the weight starts coming back, and then I'll be depressed, and then it'll just be all bad. So
I'm kind of surprised you're already done holiday shopping. I mean, usually you're such a late. You'd be like starting right about now, or next week.
A couple things have changed. One is all the kids are older and the stuff they want is really expensive. And so they don't get as much as they used to, which is the same boat you're finding yourself in. So
God, and you guys have the world's most biggest tree too.
I know. It's going to look like elves.
You put the presents under there and they'll look like there's nothing under there.
I know. They'll be like, what's all this? Well, this is what you asked for. Here's $1,000 worth of gifts, everyone. Second is no one lives here anymore. I mean, everyone's moved out except for one. And she wants makeup palettes and earbuds and, a sweater. It's real simple stuff. Now, if you go to a store, there's no inventory. It's all online shopping. I have gone to stores going, okay, I want this or that. And I'm like, you're out of it. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, we are. But you can buy it online. I can order it for you right now and have it delivered to your house. And I'm like, and with the risk of it not getting here in time, I have to order it early. And so that's basically why I'm almost done with my shopping, is because I had really no choice. It was either do it early and get it here on time or risk sending them a text message of the picture of the thing that they're going to get in January.
Yeah. I didn't go anywhere. I did completely online this year.
Yeah. So with that, other than some of the stuff that we're going to get them, like lottery tickets, we always get them one, hoping one of them strikes it rich.
Well, that's fun.
Yeah. But other than that, we pretty much get everything out of the way. So anyway, we're in a transitional phase and I'm not happy about it. I'm still reeling over my other child moving out. That's been depressing. And what was funny is when she was leaving, she was okay, well, that's it. And she was upstairs for a minute. And then she came downstairs and she had been crying. And I'm like, what's the matter? And she's like, it was just the totality of it all, that she was officially leaving the nest. Mm-hmm. And she's a drama queen. And so I said, all right. Now, when Tyler moved out, I left. I went to Napa for the day because I didn't want to watch him leave because I just couldn't take it. I couldn't take it. And so I happened to have to be here when she was leaving. And so I said, all right, well, you got everything? She's like, yeah. And she started to cry and I started to cry. And of course, Daryl and her boyfriend, Ken, are just like, they don't know what to do with themselves. They start kind of fidgeting and roaming around a little and getting a glass of water and, whatever. And Kenzie and I are hugging and sobbing like she's being sent off to death.
I know. Like you guys, couldn't see each other,
tomorrow,
later that evening or something.
Exactly. But it was, it was symbolically, this is it. And so it was really difficult. And, Daryl's like, do you want to go to a movie? Do you want to get a drink? I'm like, I don't want to do anything. I just want to sit here and feel bad. And he's like, all right. So it's been a difficult week and a half for me. Aww. It's been very difficult. I know. And it's like, I thought it would get easier. I thought I would be used to this. But no. I mean, Natalie left, Tyler left, and now Mackenzie. And I'm just like, I'm too young to be going through this. And I told Daryl that. I said, we're nowhere near 50 and we're already dealing with this. This is what we get for having kids at 20.
Yeah.
When you're super duper young, and you're still young and they're all leaving. It's really emotional. It's like, I'm not a hardened old lady yet. I'm still in mom mode. And so it's very weird. I have friends my age who have 6-year-olds. So that's so strange.
Insane. Yeah, that's crazy.
I know. It's really hard. I'm struggling. I'll get over it, but it's just, and then it's, it's the holidays and, trying to coordinate them coming over and, oh my God, and then, honestly, Paula, I go through it and I go, how was our mom so heartless? This has been the worst thing of my life, having my kids grow up and leave. And my mom is like, bye, call me later. Don't ask for anything.
Bye. She practically threw many of us out.
It's so, I don't know how she did it. I don't know how, but, maybe it was just a different generation.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I can't take it. I can't take it. I want them with me forever. I know that's so unrealistic, but you'll feel that way when Ryan leaves. You'll be like, I think I want to die. I don't think I can handle it.
I know. It's really, Victor's really already told us that Olivia has to live with us forever. She's not gonna make it on her own.
She's like a baby bird. She'll never make it.
She has to go to a local college and, all of those
and you know
things.
what? She's going to be the one. She's like, well, mother and father, I've been accepted to Harvard Law School.
Yeah. I'm going, no, she'll be like, I'm moving to Los Angeles. I'm becoming an actor.
It's like, as well as Oxford and the American University in France. Right. And I've decided to go to Europe for 4 years. Ta-ta!
Ryan and I are moving to Paris. I'm going to do a scholarship program, and he's going to be cooking under the blah, blah, blah chef.
And you guys will be like,
right.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's so true. Okay, so speaking of security and wanting to be safe and together forever, you know, I've told you before that Daryl really, really wanted to get security cameras for the house. Mm-hmm. And he wanted them everywhere. Like he wanted them in the house, backyard, side yards, front door. You know, he wanted them everywhere because of all of his traveling. And I said, no, and no.
Okay.
And so finally,
not inside. That's like a little big brother.
Right? And I said, I really don't think he goes, well, I just want to see what's going on when I'm not there. I'm like, no, none of your business.
I don't want you to time how long I was in the bathroom
or you know, to see me making food and going, you know,
getting in bed or,
oh my God. Well, no, I would not allow that. That's like,
you know, he'd put a camera right there.
That's like a freaking, you know, Real World.
That's
from
like
MTV
that movie
shit.
Silver or whatever it was called. With
yeah, none
Sharon
of that.
Stone and Alec Baldwin. But anyways,
it's like, look, I know men are visual creatures, but that's just going a little above board for me.
Yeah, and what if someone got the tape or I don't know?
The whole thing is creeps me out. So
bad idea.
We went to his father's up in Reno a couple of months ago, and he has motion cameras, security cameras on the side yard in his front door and one in the backyard. Mm-hmm. And so Daryl, of course, was just like all in on it. He's like, oh, I love this. And everything is app oriented. So you get the app and you can do all that stuff. So I relented and said, fine, let's do one camera at the front door because the door is constantly ringing, door knocks, everything, all day, all the time. And it would be nice to decide if I want to answer it. And especially when he's not here. And I've answered the door to like 2 and 3 huge men who are working on the street and stuff. It's not like it's, you know, little old ladies. And so I said, yeah, that's a good idea. So he bought it. He was extremely excited about it and got it all hooked up. And of course, 2 things. One, he now realizes, because you get a notification every time there's motion at the front door, no less than 10 times a day. No less than 10 times a day is there some activity at the front door. It's one thing to hear me complain about it. It's quite another to be notified every single time there's something going on. It's tiring. Yeah. Second, Daryl likes to look at the camera and see himself. He's had more than a few occasions where he'll start performing for the camera. It is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. And like, for example, now everybody has the app. So when there's motion, you can actually go and look at the taped motion and decide you can either look at it live or you can look at it recorded. And one of our daughters saw it. Daryl and I were walking to get the mail some afternoon, and he was behind me, and he started leaping off the stair like a kid.
Yeah.
And his daughters caught it, and they sent the recording to him and said, Dad, what are you doing? And you see me wandering like an adult off like a normal human, and he's in the back leaping off like, you know, fame, I'm gonna live forever. And I'm like, okay, I'm starting to realize why we want security cameras. This isn't for safety. This is for you.
Yeah, this is for entertainment.
This is for you to be a performer, apparently. So anyway,
God, you guys should get those Ring ones that actually has a voice, and you can, you know, start talking to each other when they, you know.
This one has a microphone. So I know you don't listen to the shows very often, but last week Daryl and I were talking about a harrowing story where a dog wandered into our yard, and we were sitting on the plane. We had just landed from LA to Sacramento, and it looked like bodega had gotten out. And so our neighbor had come over to knock on the door, and Daryl uses the microphone on the security camera and goes, Neil, this is Daryl. I can see you. I'm sitting on a plane, but I'm talking to you through our security camera. Now, Neil is like 80 years old.
And he's like, what?
He's like, hello? He's looking around. What? I'm just here to see if Bodega's here because, you know, he's trying to go on the thing. Anyway, I said, you can't do that to people. They don't understand. This is not normal. You can't talk to people through a camera. It freaks people out.
It's not
He's
normal
like, but it's
behavior.
very useful.
Until everybody has those things, don't expect that they understand.
Yeah, we're not all techie, Mr. Man, you know. Anyway, yes, so it's been quite hilarious and quite eye-opening, and the cats trigger it constantly.
Oh.
So that's annoying, but he's like, well, we can adjust the motion so that, you know, they don't trigger it. I'm like, no, I'd rather, because if a skunk or a raccoon or a possum, which has happened, comes up, I'd like to know, you know.
Oh.
Luckily,
okay.
There hasn't been any random weirdos at night, like in the middle of the night or anything, so that's been nice. But it's also been really cold.
Yeah.
So I'm hopeful they're all, you know, hiding under their rocks.
Yeah. When we had an alarm and we had the motion detector, they had adjusted it to where our animals wouldn't trip the wire or whatever. So
yeah,
because I'm just like, our dogs and cats are always running around the whole time. So I'm like, I don't want the alarm to constantly be going off because, you know, or the police coming over and say the dog ran over a laser beam or something like that. So
I definitely think they're a good idea, but first of all, there's nothing like seeing your big fat ass on a camera, by the way. That's always real fun.
Ours was just a motion sensor. It wasn't a camera. We didn't have any cameras, but I don't think they were doing cameras at the time. So this was kind of a long time ago. So
I just see myself, and it's so funny. I have the same position. I walk out and my arms are crossed, and I'm walking out because
I always do that too. I always cover my nips.
Yeah, it's cold, and so I walk out and I see myself in my messy bun, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm such a schlep. Get it together. Just get it together. It's just awful.
I don't care if it's before a certain time. I'm just like, you know, the rest of you look like this. You're just in your house.
Right. You just don't have security cameras because your husband can't stand not looking at whatever's happening at the front door when he's in LA.
That's funny.
It is funny. I mean, what's funny is his behavior because, I mean, who knew that he was such a, you know, camera hog?
He's a voyeur.
Yeah, it's crazy. But anyway, so that's been fun. I have some screenshots and I send them to him to remind him what a dork he is. And he's like, why do you have these? And like the other day, his daughters, we did a group text, which by the way, I hate group text so much. It's one thing to have it on Facebook. It's quite another on my phone. I hate it.
The good thing about not having friends is you don't get on group texts.
So one of them sent the video of him doing the fame leap in front of, behind, and he was behind me, so I couldn't see him do it. And they said, Dad, what are you doing? So then I sent the screenshots that I had saved to humiliate him, and they're like, oh my God, Dad, what are you doing? Why? And then he calls me, he goes, why did you send those to our children? And I said, why did you do them? Why did you do them? And don't do stuff if you don't want. I think the thing is they could have seen these, by the way. They have the app too. They can see all the film they want. I said, I just screenshotted the most embarrassing parts of those. Anyway, I'll send you one.
I want to see you.
You'll die. You will die. I mean, you think I'm kidding. I mean, not you personally, but, people think, that can't possibly be. I'm like, oh, yeah, it absolutely is. This is who he is. Here's one. I'll send it. I'm texting it to you right now.
That's funny.
He's such a dork, though. He's such a dork. What are you going to do? Did you get it yet?
Yeah, but my phone fell on the floor, so I'll have to look at it when we're done. Okay. I had a freak out. I don't know what I was doing. When I was trying to get everything to work,
Yeah.
You know how it is. You're like,
yes,
why isn't everything working?
Okay, so let's do our ugly and awkward moments of the week.
Okay, so I had a doctor's appointment last week in the midst of my medical emergency.
Yes.
The doctor was going to take my reflexes, how they always do that.
Right.
And so I had on gym pants, but they were scrunched up at the bottom.
Okay.
And so I had told myself that when I took a shower, I had shaved my legs because it had been a long time.
Yeah.
So, and
it's winter. It's winter.
it's winter. And so he says, can you take off your shoes, please? And I'm like, yeah. So I took off my shoes. I was wearing a white sock with a bright green tip. And then on my right foot, I was wearing a just completely white sock that didn't even match. And so I'm like, okay, starting to look a little nutty. So
oh God.
And then he's like, all right, can you pull up your pants so I can take, your reflexes? So I pulled them all the way up, and I'm like, wow, those are some hairy legs.
He said that?
No.
You did.
I did to myself.
Oh, my God.
So I just, didn't even look. And my doctor's this is another doctor. He's kind of young. He's a resident, and so he's probably in his late 20s. And I'm just
geez.
oh my God. And so
is he cute?
No, not really.
Oh, okay, good.
But,
okay, good.
He's, in the know. I mean, he knows a woman of a certain age should be shaving her legs,
God.
But maybe he just assumed that, I was just like...
Did it look like man hair? Is it really that an inch long type stuff? Or
yeah, it's like,
It's like baby hair.
It's
you can feel it whipping in the wind if you were wearing shorts.
Yeah, it's frayed, your
leg hair. Your leg hair has dead ends.
Yeah, my leg hair has split ends.
Oh my God.
So, well, the problem is that. Did I say? Oh,
what?
Later when I was there, I was explaining to him that I was having trouble balancing when I'm in the shower. And then I said, when I go to shave my legs.
Why would you say that?
Because it's the truth. But
I know.
In this instance, and I could have sworn he raised his eyebrow.
Oh, he probably did. He's like, well, that's an interesting thing to know.
But kind of who are you fooling?
God.
But this is when I was taking that medication, so I could have just been imagining it.
You might have hallucinated the whole conversation.
No, I know my legs are that hairy. But
God, that's hilarious, Paula.
The whole situation was just
that is hilarious,
very awkward. But when I was explaining to him that I have balance problems, especially when I go to shave my legs, and I just felt stupid saying it because I know I don't shave my legs.
You're like, yeah. Okay, so yeah, yours is pretty good. Mine is. I play World of Warcraft. Mm-hmm. That's like my little escape whenever I want to play. And so I have made some really good friends. And this girl that we've been friends for probably 5 or 6 years. And this year we decided to send each other Christmas cookies because I make peppermint bark and fudge, mm-hmm. and I send it to people who I like or whatever. And she's like, oh, I make cookies. Send me your address and I'll send you some. I'm like, okay, cool. So we exchanged addresses. I'm going to be sending hers this week. I got her cookies the other day. And there's just a variety of your typical winter Christmas cookies. And there's these one cookies that have a little, like a fruitcake cherry and little almonds. Mm-hmm. I pulled them out. And now knowing what kind of person she is and that we play this game together, I thought this was what it was. I thought they were alien faces. It looked like
I saw the pictures. Yeah.
The little eye slits and the little ooh mouth, right? The little mouth that goes,
the little
ooh.
Roswell alien people.
And they were white sugar cookies, so I figured they were little alien heads. And so I took a picture of them because I was so excited I received them. I took a picture and I posted them like the best Christmas cookies are alien head Christmas cookies. I'm so excited. So Daryl comes home a few hours later, and I said, look, I got the Christmas cookies. Now I got to make my peppermint bark right away. And he goes, oh, okay, cool. So he's eating them. And I said, look, she made alien cookies. Aren't these the coolest? And he goes, no, those are reindeer. I'm like, what? He goes, yeah, those are, look at it. And I'm like, oh my God, it is a reindeer. The almonds are the antlers, and the little nose is Rudolph's nose. And it looks like a reindeer cookie if you look at it. And I went, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. I put it on every social platform that they were alien heads.
It's like Instagram,
Facebook, Twitter. Like I went all out on it. I was so excited about these alien head cookies for Christmas. And I was like, oh my God. So I reshared it and I said, I've been informed that these are not alien heads. They're reindeer cookies. And I do remember there are reindeer cookies that look like that. And I was like, I was so embarrassed. I'm like, I'm so sorry. They're still delicious, no matter what. They were very tasty. I'm so sorry they're not aliens. And she responds, she goes, yeah, those aren't alien cookies. Those are like either angry snowmen or reindeer. I was like, oh, shit. And of course, thankfully, social media, everyone's so kind. They're like, I see aliens too. And I'm like, all right, thanks for supporting my hallucination. But that's not what they are.
Yeah, sorry. The ICs what the ICs.
That's right. So then I said, is it blue or black?
Right.
I'm like, what is it? So anyway, but you totally win, by the way, this week. God, you win this week for sure.
I know. I'm such a nerd. That was
You funny. Are a nerd, but it's hilarious. Okay, so I want to close the show with a story that I read. Producer Dub tuned me into this story. And the reason that I'm reading it is because we have a lot of listeners in Iowa. And they're all Hawkeye fans.
Oh, okay.
So I want to read this. This story made Daryl cry. And when he told it to me, I started to cry. Now, this was the day after Mackenzie moved out. So it could have been that we were just exceptionally emotional. But I'm going to read it because it is such a feel-good story. And there's so much bullshit all the time. And so I wanted to read this to you. It's very, very quick. It's not long. Iowa's Kinnick Wave is a heartwarming tradition started this year. It was honored with the Disney Spirit Award on Thursday night at a college football award show in Atlanta. The wave began during Iowa's first home game of the 2017 season, and it quickly inspired those in Iowa City and beyond. The wave happens at the end of the first quarter when fans in attendance at Kinnick Stadium, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Kinnick. It's Kinnick. Kinnick Stadium. They turn and wave to patients in the top floor of the University of Iowa Stead Family Children's Hospital across the street. It was the simple idea from Hawkeye fan Krista Young, and it turned into one of the best stories of the season in college football. Thursday night, the wave was recognized on a national stage during ESPN's award show. They aired the 6-minute video of the Kinnick Wave's history, and there weren't many dry eyes in the house. Essentially, the stadium... the hospital, the children's hospital, and they're on the top floor, all the kids who are fighting cancer or are very, very ill, they can actually look down and look into the Iowa Hawkeye Stadium.
Oh, cool.
And so all the fans at the end of the first quarter, they all, I'm getting choked up, they all turn around and they wave at the kids.
Aww.
I know, isn't that sweet? Iowa, you guys are awesome. Daryl came out and he's like, I'm crying. And I'm like, what happened? He's like, it's the Iowa Hawkeyes. And I'm like, oh my God, what? So he told me, and I immediately started crying. And I'm getting a little weepy now because, kids. Kids. And the fact that they do that, it's like, and so all the kids come and they wait. And then they all turn around and they wave. And I'm like, that is the sweetest thing I've ever heard. And it's like in a time when everyone's such assholes.
Yeah.
This is so great. And so anyway, I just thought that was such a great story, especially during a time when everything seems so ugly. And I'm like, amongst all of that, this is happening. And they got recognized for it, which I think is a great tradition.
That is so cool.
Yeah. So anyway, that's it. Just wanted to end with something positive.
I think that's definitely good news. So,
yes.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us, and keep up the good shopping. And definitely, if you do shop through Amazon, go through our portal. It definitely helps our show. But mostly we have Avon. And so if you are looking to shop for the woman in your life, or you are the woman in your own life, one thing that's pretty popular with the teens right now are the makeup palettes. So those are the ones that have just like different squares of different colors. All the girls definitely love those right now. So you will have much success with buying those. And if you have questions, just email us and we can help you out. Other than that, like I said, keep shopping, stay warm. It's freezing. Enjoy the snow, and we'll see you next week. Bye. Bye.
That's a wrap. But make sure to watch your podcast feed for all the screw-ups and edits from this episode and what we call Ugly Cuts. And then we'll have a brand new full episode for you next week. Thanks for listening and sharing the show. See you next time on The Ugly Truth.